Brutor Agent Governance. Part 2. Identity and Authorization. Give every agent an identity, then authorize what it may do. This is Part 2 of a 4-part series. Part 1 set up the AI system, one resource group owning every resource. Now we give the agent an identity and authorize what it may do. The network and observability follow. We've governed the model, the tools, and the skills. The last frontier is the agent itself, a machine identity that calls models, fires tools, and delegates to other agents. Identity first, then authorize the action. Here's where today sits on the system from the introduction. The Acme Revenue Copilot. Lit up, the agent itself and the gateway. This demo governs the principle. Its identity, the grants that say what it may do, and the intent policy that judges what it means to do. Authorize actions, not just access. Access control says what an agent can reach. Agent governance says what it may do, per action, per target, with approvals and risk classes. Default deny by design. An action with no matching allow grant is refused before the tool is ever called. Deny beats allow. A denied action stays denied, no matter what else matches. Approval required routes the call to a human with a one-shot token, and dry run rolls all of this out in shadow first, so you measure before you enforce. Now, the live demo. We'll look at the identities and their grants in the admin console. Then watch the gateway enforce them on real calls. Every agent is a principal, not an API key. Resources, agents, identities. Each agent has an owner, a source, manual, or issued by your IDP with a workload subject, like a SPIFFE URL, a default deny baseline, and an enforcement mode. Open Data Export Worker. Default deny is on, enforcement is live, and its memberships use the same primitive as every other resource. And this is the IDP subject. That's SPIFFE URL. SPIFFE is an open standard for workload identity. The URL is a stable, verifiable name for the running agent, not an endpoint you call. In production, the workload presents a short-lived credential from your IDP, whose subject is this SPIFFE ID. The gateway matches it here, and the call runs as this agent with these grants. Issuance stays with your IDP. Brutor is the decision, enforcement, and evidence plane on top. Governance, agent policies, the grants. Read Data Export Worker's policy like a sentence. It may read warehouse tables and run the sales query. Bulk exports and the expensive report need a human's approval. Deletes are denied outright, flagged critical. With default deny, anything without a matching grant is refused, and deny always beats allow. This is the difference between RBAC and agent governance. Not who the agent is, but what it may do, per action, per target, with risk classes. And the intent layer grants match structure, but some rules are about meaning, and you can't regex intent. A semantic policy is a rule in plain English, judged by an LLM on every governed agent request. Open block customer PII exfiltration. The constraint is the judge's prompt. It runs in enforce mode on chat input and the A2A outbound surface. So when an agent tries to ship a customer record to appear in Part 3, this is the policy that catches it. 2 policies enforce. 3 run in shadow, logging wood blocks until you trust the judge. Fail open. A judge error never blocks traffic. Now, the wire. This terminal holds a credential bound to the Data Export Worker identity. Every call it makes is attributed to that agent. It calls lookup customer, a tool it holds no grant for. The gateway refuses it before the tool is ever invoked. 403, agent not authorized, default deny, no matching grant. Approval required routes to a human. The same agent calls generate report. Its grant says a person must sign off. The gateway parks the call, 202, an approval request with a poll URL and an expiry. Once a sales approver signs off, a one-shot token releases exactly 1 execution. The same human in the loop you saw in MCP, now keyed to the agent's own policy. And the granted action just works. Query SalesDB carries an allow grant. The same agent, the same key, 200 OK, real rows back. Governance that stays out of the way until the moment it shouldn't. And all 3 calls are on the record. The deny, the approval, and the allow, side by side. Open the one that was refused. The lookup customer call carries the agent's identity, the authorization decision, denied, default deny, no matching grant, and the policy that fired, stamped at right time. Not a 200. The block itself is the evidence. Which agent did what, under which grant? A filter, not a forensics project. That's identity and authorization. Part 3 puts the network between agents under the same governance.